Hey y'all, hey, it's Erica with Time to Shrink. I'm coming at you today with a video all about fasting. I'm going to take you through my fast that I did this last week, and then at the end we're going to do a chat about the lessons that I've learned. Things that went really well, things that didn't go well, tips and tricks, so stay tuned for that part at the end. This video is also in conjunction with my girl Dori. My friend Dori has a YouTube channel and an Instagram channel, so I will put her down below, tag it down below. She's going to be chatting on her channel about her fast and all about fasting as well. She has been just a godsend to me, y'all. She had vertical sleeve gastrectomy surgery like 3 years ago. She lost an incredible amount of weight, has maintained it, is looking amazing. She has followed a low carb lifestyle throughout this, and she is just a phenomenal person. Like, in her core, she is just such a sweetheart, and she has become such a good friend of mine. I've come to really rely on her for encouragement and inspiration and motivation. We text back and forth all the time, and we've actually kind of become accountability partners for each other in a lot of ways. And oh my gosh, that girl. Thank you, Dori, for doing this with me, for being the friend that you are to me. Gosh, thank you. I just love you, sweetie. Okay, let's jump into the video. Hey y'all, it is Sunday evening, about 4:45 in the evening, and I am going to start a 72-hour fast as soon as I finish eating. So I'm gonna flip you around and show you what I'm eating for my last meal, and then we're gonna be fasting. It's gonna be lots of green tea and lots of water for this girl. I have been having major inflammation and pain days. I do have chronic pain illness that happens, but usually it's few and far between as far as the really bad days because I manage it so well. This is day 3 of really bad, so I'm hoping that fasting will really help the inflammation, y'all. Okay, so this is basically just beef broth and a little bit of beef chunks in it. So beef broth and beef chunks, that is what I'm having for my last meal. And I have had 2 full Zip Fizz today, and I've had some sparkling water, and then the rest of the evening I'm just going to be drinking tea. Good morning, y'all. It is like 11 o'clock on the first day into the fast, so I'm, I don't know, 18 hours or so in, something like that, 19 hours. And y'all, I am not feeling this fast. I don't want to do it. I'm hungry, my head feels funny, like, ugh. But I put my big girl panties on, and I made myself a tea, a green tea, and I'm sipping on it, and I'm just gonna keep pushing through. I'm just gonna keep telling myself that we're doing this, Erica. I'm gonna text my girl Dori so that I have motivation. I've already been doing that this morning, and we're just gonna keep plugging along. I don't know if I'm gonna make 72 hours, y'all, but at least we're gonna make 24. I don't know. Let's keep plugging along. I'll check with y'all soon. It is Monday afternoon, y'all, and it is about 23 hours into my fast, and I am wanting to eat all the things. I want the snacks. Y'all, it's just, fasting is such a mind game, right? Like, you've got to be in the right frame of mind for it. I've been editing stuff that has to do with food, and so I've got food on my mind. I need to go grocery shopping. I have to do meal prepping. And oftentimes when I'm fasting, none of that bothers me, like, at all. It's usually not a big deal. But today, for some reason, it's like getting to me. So just gonna keep sipping on my green tea. I've got some green tea going. I'm gonna make some more. I just made some peach green tea, like a Tazo peach green tea. Got that in the refrigerator, so I'm gonna fill up on more of that, and I'm gonna hit the grocery store. I picked up the house, just been doing all kinds of little things, editing, just trying to stay really busy. That's like my biggest tip for fasting, is staying busy. The busier I stay, the faster it goes by, and usually as long as my mindset's right, it's really not tough for me. But if I am gonna struggle, it's usually in the first 24 hours. So once I get past the first 24 hours and go to sleep on that first night, then I'm usually good to go. So I'm hoping that the next couple days will go a lot more smoothly. I have been putting some of these Malden sea salts under my tongue a few times as I've felt kind of hungry, although I don't think I'm really feeling all that hungry as much as my mind is just not completely right for this one for some reason. But I've been texting back and forth with my girl Dori. She's helping me keep my mind on straight, and I've been having the Malden sea salts. I just used the rest of this container, but I know I have more. I always have backup. I love these little Malden sea salt containers, and I buy like refills for it, so I don't just keep rebuying these little containers. I bought like a big box of Malden sea salt, so I'm just gonna go fill this up. I like to keep it on me when I'm fasting. It helps replace my electrolytes, and it also, if you're feeling a little hungry or a little lightheaded or any of those kind of things, a little bit of this straight under your tongue where it dissolves fast works really, really quickly. So I'm using this. I also take my Pure Planet sports salts, and I take those twice a day when I'm fasting. The other thing that I did today, y'all, was I took some exogenous ketones. I have found that while fasting, if I will take a few exogenous ketones via pills a couple times a day, it helps keep my energy up, especially that first 24 hours. I don't really need it after the first 24, but it does help keep my energy up, and it helps keep me from having cravings or wanting food. I feel like after I took those this afternoon, after I remembered that I had those and decided to take them, things got a little bit easier. So that's another tip for fasting that I found that I did not do originally, but I've added now, and I do think that this is an appropriate time and place for some exogenous ketones. I take the capsules by Perfect Keto, and when you take them in capsule form, you don't get quite as much as you do when you drink it, but I'm fasting, so I don't want to take, since I'm fasting, I don't want to take the drinkable ones because it has other things in it. So I feel like taking them by mouth works. I don't know if are ketones allowed on fasting? I think they are. I think if I take them just exogenous ketones by pill, so you're just getting the BHB salts, that it's okay, right? I don't know. There's always so much to learn about fasting, but we're doing our best. Jason just brought all this food in from the grill. Y'all, my marinated pork chops smell so good. And look at this porterhouse. Why did I let them cook this on a night that I cannot eat? Oh my gosh, it smells so freaking good in here. All right, y'all, it is the evening. It's like 7 o'clock in the evening, and I am dying to eat. And I've done everything that I could think of. I've drank a million cups of tea, and I just want something. So I decided to let myself have some coffee with some nut pod. I really wanted to try this pumpkin spice creamer, and there are only 10 calories. I had a couple tablespoons that I added in here. There's only 10 calories, 1 fat, 0 carbs, 0 protein. So I know this is not straight coffee. I did add some flavoring. Yeah, maybe it breaks a fast, but I'm having it, y'all. My last fast, I was perfect at just water and green tea. It's not going as well this time, and I don't want to eat, so I'm going to let myself have this. It's going to feel indulgent. It's going to feel like a treat because I haven't had anything pumpkin spice yet this season. So I'm going to sip on this, and that is going to be it for the evening, and hopefully tomorrow will go a little more smoothly. I stuck to just my tea all day, but I was just really craving stuff. My mind space has not been great, and truthfully, going into this fast, I did not eat very well. We were out of town, and I didn't make the best choices, so I think having had some extra carbs the couple days before when I'm not used to it has really messed with me maybe. But anyways, it is what it is, and I didn't eat anything, so I'm calling it a success, but I'm still gonna share it with y'all exactly what I'm doing. All right, I'll talk to you tomorrow. Good morning, y'all. It's about 9 o'clock, so I'm 36-ish hours into my fast. Somewhere around 36 hours into my fast, I believe. And y'all, last night, I really struggled to fall asleep. And I just kept thinking, get up and go have a spoon of peanut butter. Get up and go have a spoon of peanut butter. You need that spoon of peanut butter, Erica. If you go have some peanut butter, Erica, you're going to go to sleep. Y'all, I had to fight that for like over an hour. I'm so proud of myself that I didn't give in. So proud that I didn't give in. So I am up. We're going into today. I am going to have another cup of coffee with a little bit of that pumpkin spice. I decided that I'm okay with that for this fast because if I'm not eating actual food, I'm going to be happy and satisfied. Hopefully next fast will go a little bit more smoothly, but 36 hours in. I don't know how long this one's gonna last, y'all, but that's where we are right now. I made it 44 hours into the fast, y'all, and I'm calling it. I just haven't been feeling great today. I feel like I need a Zip Fizz. I feel like I need the electrolytes. So I'm gonna have a Zip Fizz, and then I'm gonna have some chili. I have some chorizo chili that I had made that is in the refrigerator, so I'm gonna have some of that to break my fast. I really wanted to do 72 hours, y'all, but this one was just not meant to be. Sometimes you just have to listen to your body, and sometimes it's mind over matter. Sometimes you just have to listen to your body, and at 44 hours, I decided that it was time to listen to my body, and my body was saying call it. So 44-hour fast done. Kind of disappointed, but 44 hours, that's not too shabby. Not too shabby. All right, I will talk to you again soon. Bye, y'all. Lessons that I've learned. So number one, what is fasting? Sometimes you hear fasting and you think, oh, that's so unhealthy. They're starving themselves. Why would you ever do that? But that is not at all the case, y'all. There's so much research out there showing the benefits of fasting. So let's say I stop eating at 5 o'clock one evening, and then I go 36 to 72, I think is as far as I've ever gone, hours without eating. And that long, prolonged period of time gives your body a lot of time to, I think of it as rest and recoup, like a little Pac-Man going around my body and eating up the bad cells, the cells that are going bad, so things that need repair in my body, decreasing inflammation levels, which is huge for me. And that's the reason I fast. I also fast for weight loss sometimes as a secondary reason. That's always part of it, right? You're gonna lose weight when you're not eating anything, but that, in my opinion, is not the primary reason to fast. That's just an added benefit if you're on a weight loss journey. What are my top tips for making fasting more pleasant, more feasible, easier? Number one, I've already kind of mentioned, having accountability. Doing it with a friend is so helpful, because if you need to vent or you need someone to talk you off a ledge because you want to hit your goals, that is so helpful. And Dori has been amazing as a fasting partner for me. We've done it a couple times together now, and it's just been great. A lot of accountability there. Another tip that I've found that I feel like is really helpful is plan fasting during a time when you're planning to be rather busy. If you're busy, your mind is not on food as much. Because number three, it is such a mental game. Fasting is such a mental game. I'm not usually hungry when I fast, but I mentally am. I'm thinking about what I'm eating. I'm thinking about what I'm not eating. I'm thinking about when I'm gonna eat next. I'm thinking about food a lot. It kind of shows you how much we focus on food, and not necessarily in a good way. So if you're staying busy and you realize that it's a mental game and you're gonna beat that game, kind of a competition with yourself, you can talk yourself out of it. You have your friend to talk you out of it. If you're thinking, oh, I don't want to do this anymore, I'm just gonna go ahead and eat, but you have that goal to hit however many hours, knowing it's a mental game just really, really helps. And having that accountability partner or somebody that's doing it with you also really, really helps. I've done it by myself numerous times also. It's fine, but it's nice to have somebody. Next, hydrate. Hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. Hydration and electrolytes matter. On keto in general, which is my way of eating, electrolytes really matter. When we're not holding on to that water weight, which is kind of inflammatory, we feel better, but water-soluble vitamins we tend to wash out, tend to pee out. Water-soluble nutrients we tend to pee out. So your sodium, your magnesium, your potassium, potentially some calcium, those are things that are water-soluble, and you need to stay on top of getting enough. When you are fasting and taking in nothing, you're really reducing that inflammation. You're really getting rid of some water weight, which is sometimes why you'll see big drops when you are fasting, because you're really flushing out that water weight. So you need to stay on top of your electrolytes. You need to have a plan of how you're going to get your electrolytes. Are you going to have a few tablespoons of Soleil water a day? Are you going to put salt straight under your tongue and mainline that salt under your tongue a few times a day? I use Malden sea salts. put those under my tongue. I find those super, super helpful. They come in these cute little tins, and I just carry them around everywhere that I go, and I'll put it under my tongue if I'm feeling dizzy or if I'm having a little hunger craving, and it just really helps. If you get a little bit of a headache, that really helps. I also take these Pure Planet Sport Salts twice a day. I take 2 twice a day when I'm fasting. Those are the things that keep me on top of my electrolytes. And then number 2, remember I said with that comes, remember I said we're peeing out a lot of that water weight, so you need to focus on hydration. Hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. Drink tons of water. 1, it's gonna keep you busy and occupied. 2, you just need it. You're going to feel better on your fast if you hydrate like crazy. The next thing that I wanna talk about is the fact that you need to listen to your body. You may have in your head, I am going to fast for 48 hours. If you get to 36 hours or 38 hours and you're feeling really badly, you need to listen to your body. Put some of that salt under your tongue like I talked about. Pop a couple more sports salt pills. Drink like 32 ounces of water down. If you're still feeling off, still not feeling right, your body may be telling you that it's time to be done with this fast. It's time to go ahead and break this fast. Other times you may get to 72 hours of fasting, and I have found the longer I fast, the better I feel. So at that point, it's just a mental ball game. Like, do I want to keep pushing it because I feel amazing? Or do I want to stop because I reached my goal? You have to kind of play with all that stuff. And another thing is, when it is time to break when you're planning when you're going to have a fast, say you're planning to do 72 hours, you need to look at where that 72 hours will end so that it's a time that you're going to be able to eat. Like, you don't want it to end at 9 a.m. if you have a meeting at 9 a.m., right? So, just pay attention to what time it should end. But if you need to stop earlier because your body is telling you to, listen to your body, y'all. Part of fasting really lets you get in tune with your body. You start to recognize things of how you're feeling. I have hardly ever had to break a fast early because I was feeling ill. I usually do fine. The longer I go, the better I feel. Truthfully, the first 24 hours are the hardest for me. Once I can get past 24, go to sleep, and then wake up around the 36-hour mark or a little later, I'm usually good unless my mental game is completely off. I truthfully have broken most of my fasts a little bit early because my mental game was not strong enough. But you know what? You can't beat yourself up for that either. 24 hours of fasting is amazing. 36 hours of fasting, amazing. If you stop fasting at 48, but you had planned 72, don't beat yourself up. Be freaking proud of yourself. That's amazing, y'all. It is not an easy thing to do. It is a huge mental battle. And if you can overcome that battle for any part of it, it's amazing. Pat yourself on the back. I'm proud of you, y'all. I'm proud of you. I hope you hear that. Because I can beat myself up. And I have to tell myself, no, Erica. Okay, I think there was one more thing. Oh, the last thing I wanted to talk about, and this is something that I have messed up on more than once, and I probably will again, but how you break your fast is important for a couple of reasons. One, you are very insulin sensitive when you are fasting, meaning if the next thing that you eat, your body is probably going to spike blood sugar with a little bit. Now, depending on what you eat is how much that spike is going to happen. So, 2 things can happen with that. 1, it can make you feel really, really bad. And 2, we spent all this time trying to control our blood sugar. Part of fasting is getting that blood sugar down, keeping that insulin level down. So if you go eat a carb-heavy meal, your blood sugars are just gonna fly through the roof. Your insulin is gonna go way up because you are super insulin sensitive. And the other thing is, if you are breaking a fast, what you eat is important because of how it's going to make you feel. If you eat a really heavy meal immediately after, especially any longer than a 40+ hour fast, it's probably going to go right through you. You're probably going to have major tummy issues. I had that problem the first couple times that I fasted. I got major diarrhea, y'all. It was no bueno. I did not expect it. I've learned that easing in is helpful. If your body is like primed to suck up whatever you're going to give it at that time. I said you're insulin sensitive, but it is going to just suck it up. So we want to give our body something extremely nutritious to suck up. So it's nice to have a homemade bone broth or a high quality store-made bone broth there for the ready. You can make a really nice comforting soup with it, or you could just have a cup of the broth. You could just have a cup of the broth by itself to ease yourself in. And then Dr. Fung, who Countess of Low Carb always calls him the daddy of fasting, of intermittent fasting and extended fast, he says a good thing to break a fast with is a salad, like some raw veggies. For me, that is too harsh on me too. Like some bone broth seems to be the best way for me. And then you go into a small meal, and then about half an hour, you eat like a very small portion, and then about half an hour later, you can eat more of a meal. So just ease yourself into it, especially the first time. Have very light things like a bone broth so your body can suck up all that nutrition, all that protein and collagen and health. There's so much value in it. Heavily salted, have it nice and salty, and let your body just soak that in. And then move on into like a small side salad, like a Caesar that you've made at home, or just like a small little salad with that very healthy dressing. At this, for this time, the most quality that you can afford is what I want you to use. So try and go all organic with this. Try and have only healthy fats on it. A healthy avocado oil, a healthy olive oil, a little bit of vinegar, and eat that. And then half an hour later, go ahead and have like a grass-fed steak or some kind of high quality protein. And that kind of is a prolonged first meal. Bone broth, a small raw salad or some raw veggies, and then half an hour later, a really healthy protein. That's the best way to break a fast that I have found, and from the research that I have read. I hope that was helpful, y'all. I just kind of wanted to chat about all the different lessons I've learned and the things that make it easier for me. Thank you, Dori, for being my accountability partner, not just in fasting, but in so many things, for being that supporter and encourager that you are, the friend that you are. I just so appreciate it, y'all. If you don't follow Dori, she is on Instagram and YouTube. I will link both of that down below. She is just a phenomenal person and a phenomenal friend, and I feel super lucky to have her. I hope y'all enjoyed this. I hope this was helpful. I will come at you with another video before too long. Bye, y'all.